Cheers and welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Yeah, we got some bourbon, we got some pumpkin. It's bourbon barrel-aged pumpkin lager. That's right. And no, I'm not using a bourbon barrel. This is a lot easier than you all think. I know some people are like, oh, I don't have a bourbon barrel. I don't want to spend that kind of money. I can't afford to spend that kind of money either. So yeah, we work around it. And what are we doing? Of course, we're doing the bourbon barrel-aged pumpkin lager. Lager, not an ale. Why lager? I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, keep sharing, and I will share the recipe in 2 ways. And on top of that, I'll explain why I'm doing a lager. First of all, I've done ale many, many, many years, and I understand some of you are like, hey, pumpkin is not a beer. Okay. Depends upon who you are. I love it. I never would have brewed a pumpkin beer until I tried some at my local bottle shop, and most of them were disappointing. Why? Because if it says pumpkin flavored, pumpkin this, pumpkin that, but doesn't say real pumpkin, there's no real pumpkin in there. Usually it's got some spices and that's about it. Yeah, so if you want real pumpkin beer, you need to look for the word pumpkin added, real pumpkin, pumpkin, whatever it may be. I do recommend using canned pumpkin. It's pulp, you're gonna get more flavor out of it than trying to roast some fresh pumpkin. It's just too much work and not recommended. So let's go over the recipe. Let's go over the details. Let's see why this isn't that hard. Now, I'm not going to say it's not a complex recipe because the recipe has changed over and over and over. And last year, I'm sorry, I just nailed it. It was amazing. I do wish my Tangelo was a little stronger, and I kind of screwed up and bought a few less than I should have, one less. And these aren't Tangelos. I know, they look like Tangelos, don't they? I'll tell you what's going on there too. So let's jump right into this. First, I'll put the brewing salts up somewhere around here, okay? And that brewing salts that I just added does not contain chalk or baking soda. I have that, and I'll be adding that after the mash. I know, you're like, why? Well, I want to keep the acidity going, but I want to keep everything balanced. So as far as I'm concerned, the alkalines will be added after the mash to help with the balancing of the flavors of the beer. Not so much on the pH. I want to keep the pH a little lower, so that's why I'm doing it this way. What kind of pumpkin spices am I using? Well, right there, I used Whole Foods 365 last year. This is what I'm using this year. What did I use previously? Previously, I was actually adding teaspoons and tablespoons of all the different spices. Why aren't these Tangelos? I know you're like, wait a minute, he's changing too much on me. So a huge shout out to all my friends in Australia, and maybe y'all can tell me what let's see if I can see it here. Denopon or Denopon. D-E-N-O-P-O-N. That's what these are. They look just like, smell a lot like a Tangelo. Why am I not using Tangelos? Well, here in Florida, a lot of the citrus has been impacted by bugs, parasites, whatever, and sadly, a lot of our citrus comes from somewhere else now. And our Tangelos appear to be coming from Peru. And last year, as you may have seen that video, they're covered in pesticides. From Whole Foods, tons of pesticides. You can smell it. It's just nasty. It's downright nasty. These from Australia, I don't smell any pesticide. I am gonna wash it just to be safe before I zest it. But I've got 5 of these beautiful, as I said, what are they called again? Dekopon, D-E-K-O-P-O-N. Never heard of that in my life. Shout out, like I said, Pierre. Maybe you can help me on these, I don't know. So I got 5 of these bad boys. We're gonna get them out of the way. I've got all the grain crushed. We are going to be using vanilla from Trader Joe's. Why did I pick this bourbon? You can pick whatever bourbon you want, and I will actually inject it into the beer once I get it in the keg, give it a day each day to just kind of settle out, do a taste test before I decide, yep, that's enough. I went for this one because of the vanilla. I want all that vanilla, that rich brown sugar and vanilla flavor. So that's why I got that bourbon. Why am I using medium spiraled oak, American oak? Because American oak is going to give you more vanilla. Yeah, vanilla. I'm just saying. I will cut these in half. I will bake them just hot enough for long enough to kill anything, throw them into the keg, purge it, and that's what the beer will sit on for a few weeks. Then we turn right around, and we're going to be adding this to the fermenter today. But what will I do? And I've shown you this before, and I'll show you in the video. I will take 4 times 15 ounces. I forgot how much that was. It's just, I think it's like 3.75 pounds. And I will roast it in the oven. I will flip it over and I will roast it again. And then I will throw it in the fermenter. That way I get a caramelized pumpkin. We want that nice, rich flavor from the pumpkin. Then, for some reason, dark brown sugar seems to be a hard thing to find right now. This is about the darkest, just brown sugar I could find. Grabbed it at Trader Joe's. And we're gonna be adding a ½ pound of that to the brew. Now let me go over the recipe. The recipe is gonna seem complex, but it's not that bad, and I've been fine-tuning it over the years, and I just feel like I have fully nailed it as of last year. Although I would have liked Tangelo and more of it. It is what it is. I'm gonna deal with it. So we have 6 pounds, 8 ounces. So I'll go over here so you can put it over there. But 1.5 pounds of Maris Otter. If you can get floor malted Maris Otter, go for it. But I have a little bit of that and a little bit of finest Maris Otter in here. Then I have 1 pound, 2 ounces of Best Munich Dark. Then I have 1 pound, 2 ounces of Flaked Wheat. That's gonna give it more mouthfeel. It's gonna add to, you know, the flavors carrying across your tongue. 10 ounces of Victory Malt. That's a lot of Victory Malt, but it still comes out amazing. ½ pound of Honey Malt. 5 ounces of Caramel Malt 10L. And 4.2 ounces of 40L caramel malt, or crystal, whatever you want to call it. Then I have 5 ounces of rye, because you know I gotta slip a little rye in there somewhere, and I've been reducing that a little bit, but 5 ounces seems to be just perfect. I gotta add a little spice there. 4.2 ounces of aromatic malt. Yeah, just beautiful. Told you the ½ pound of brown sugar. I do have 5 ounces of corn sugar in here. That's not actually going to be in the beer. That is to account for the pumpkin. And I think we kind of missed our efficiencies last year, because this should be coming out around 7.5 to 7.7, and I believe last year it came out at 7.2%. So I'm okay with that. If it's around the 7, I'm good. I just don't want to hit that 8 like I did 2 years back. Trying to keep the ABV a little controlled. Then the German lager I used last year, I was really impressed with, and I used White Labs 830. Yeah. Really, really nice. Help to accentuate, or whatever that word is, but help to allow the malts and some of the caramels and the brown sugar to stand out while keeping the beer very balanced, which I really, really liked a lot. I can tell you what I have done in the past as far as some of the spices, if you want to make your own and don't want to use this. And you can add them either to the fermenter or end of boil. I will tell you at the end of boil, it's a little safer. If you're gonna add them to the fermenter, you might wanna put them in some really, really, really steeping hot water. Stir it up really good just to make sure you kill anything in there. But originally I did 3 teaspoons of ginger, 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of clove, 1.5 teaspoons of allspice, and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I will look on this because I think it's only got 4 spices, and if it's missing one, I'll probably be adding some. And then I added 4 sweet oranges, which was approximately 2.3 ounces of zest from these guys. I got 5. I was hoping to have 6 this year. So I guess I did step it up a little bit. And then I had added 1 teaspoon of a pumpkin blend that I also had from a company called Fresh Jacks. Haven't really seen them talking lately about some of the stuff they're doing. So what are we waiting for? Let's get brewing. We're gonna be mashing in. I'm keeping it at 150 degrees. It comes back up to temp very quick because it's an Anvil Foundry. It is rock solid on the temps. The temps are much better than my other one that you know what I'm talking about. But hopefully you can see that on camera. And I'm gonna kick it up. We're gonna get going. I can't think of anything I missed other than I appreciate y'all, and let's keep watching. Okay, let's get mashed in. Remember, if you got the feet, you want them where you want them. I want them in the back. So when I go to lift this up, I know where they are. I hate pulling something up and playing guessing games, you know what I'm saying? Get yourself a good spoon. I like this because it's got big openings. And we'll go with, you know what? We'll go with the small one first. Get a good swirl going, and it's gonna go much faster. And I could have done like 156, killed the temp, been fine, but the Anvil always comes up to temp very quickly, so that's why I always just leave it, the mash in temp or strike temp at the same as what I'm mashing. Your mileage may vary. And there we go. First container worth. Here comes the second. Now I do have a gallon that I'm going to sparge with at the end. So I've got 6.6 gallons of water in here now. I'm running 220, 240 volt. Ow, don't splash yourself in the face, it burns. Okay, and I'll speed this last one up and we'll rock and roll. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes and I'm gonna get the recirculation set up and ready to go. And we'll have 75 minutes here at 150 degrees for the mash before we go to 168 for 10 minutes and mash out and sparge. Let's rock and roll. Okay, here we go. Okay. I had to redo the restrictor. It's still flowing a little more than I like. I'm tipping it to the back because my entire brew space slopes. We have been sitting here for 10 minutes waiting for this to settle. So that means we got 65 more minutes at 150 degrees. It should be going down a little bit. I dropped it down to 64%. I'll double check that here in a minute. And I'll check it again here in about 5 to 10 minutes to make sure I don't have any kind of a stuck mash, but I think we're good. Rock and roll. Okay, as you can hear, I'm kicking it up to a boil. It's gonna be a minute before we get there. Yeah, I've been sitting at 152 for the mash pretty much the whole time. That'll impact the ABV a little bit, but it'll give it more mouthfeel. I would need to watch the video. Maybe you want to watch the video for me for last year, but I kind of think we were sitting around 152 the majority of the time last year too. Might have been why the ABV was a little lower. I'm okay. At the end of the day, as long as it tastes great, don't care. Gonna go get these washed baking soda and a little bit of lemon and some water for about 20 minutes, rinse them off, and I'll start zesting. Okay, we are officially at a boil. So there it goes. And before I end up having to boil over, let's get this stirred up. If you don't have a good brew paddle, get a good brew paddle. Wood. Trust me on that one. I'm gonna go ahead and put, well, I guess 3. I'm gonna do 2 drops. And I know if you're asking what I'm dropping, it's defoamer. I didn't used to use it, but I use it all the time now and it saves me a lot of headaches, a lot of problems. Okay, I'm gonna give that a nice stir, and we've got a 90-minute countdown. I know everybody's like, 90 minutes? It'll seem like a minute or two for you. It'll seem like 90 for me. But yeah, we'll be here for a bit. Okay, so I kind of screwed up. We're in the last 5 minutes of the boil, and I was meaning to add Hallertau Magnum at 12.9 at 24 minutes. Forgot. So last 15 minutes, so 10 minutes ago, I dropped Warrior 14.2 and an ounce and a half. The goal here is just to have a neutral hop that gets you about 30 IBUs. If you're really good at balancing it, you want to throw it in early, great, you can use less hops. I just am watching my boil off and kind of adjusting if I needed to. I didn't need to, so it is what it is. Now, instead of doing 2.3 ounces of zest, I did 4.30. I really wanted it to stand out more. I was thinking about increasing it by 50%. I went a little nuts. It's not as strong as the normal Tangelo, so it's all good. I'm gonna put that in a bag. Last year I added another tablespoon of pumpkin spice to the fermenter. Yes, I did heat it up. Yes, I did let it cool. Yes, I did throw it in while it was fermenting. This is Tangelo, technically, although it's Australia's version of whatever. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it again. I've got ½ a pound of brown sugar. Dump that in. Gotta stir that because that could hit the bottom and cause a problem. So we'll go ahead and give that a nice little stir. As I burn my hand, it's very, very hot. Okay, put that up there. I also have 2 tablespoons pumpkin spice. Drop that in there. We're gonna turn the recirculation on for a second. Just get things moving. Ooh, took a big old either brown sugar or pumpkin spice, but something thick and dark went through there. I don't wanna run that on boil too long, but just enough to get it circulated. I'll give it another hit here in a minute. I've got about 3 minutes to go. What else can I throw in there? Oh, I know. Roll flock tablet. And a little bit of Fermented. Oh, optional, not necessary. I put in about 1/8 of a teaspoon, probably, yep, 1/8, because this is a quarter and I put about half of that. I didn't, but if you wanted to make this a little sweeter, you could add like 3 or 4 ounces of lactose. I'm not doing it, I'm good. I like it the way it's gonna come out. And I've got the pumpkin roasting. It's pretty much cooling down right now. I'm gonna get the fermenter ready and we've got about 2 minutes. I'll kill it, throw the jaded Scilla in there, cool it down, move it on over to the Firmzilla all-rounder, and yeah, we'll pitch the yeast and rock on. Hang in there. Okay, we're at 175 and dropping. Might have been lower than that by now. Got a little agitation going. I like to get it down, you know, under 180 before I kick the pump back on. Don't want to cause a problem. And so our hops. Dump that last little bit of liquid in there. I don't think I have anything here from the oranges. Yeah, or whatever you want to call it. Orange related. Okay, my fingers sting. It's all good. We're gonna get this down, like I said, and we'll be pitching the yeast next. Okay, successful day. So our efficiencies are right around the 76% for brewhouse efficiencies. I did adjust for the mash being at 152. That way our ABV is a little lower. I also compensated for the pumpkin. Instead of putting in all 4 cans, I only put in 3 cans, which puts me right around almost 3 pounds, 3 ounces shy of 3 pounds. So I brought it down from about 5 ounces to maybe 4, probably should have been closer to 3.2 on corn sugar, but I did all my estimations before I added that, so not a big deal. Okay, yeah. We have a nice German lager yeast, which is recommending a 50 to 55 degrees fermentation. So I'm gonna set it right around 52, bounce around 53. It'll be all happy. Yes, I put the pumpkin in here. Yes, I got the temps down. I did put a floating dip tube in here. And like I said, anything I ever brew or do, I'll leave links down below. Yes, most of them are affiliates. That's how the channel gets supported. And no, it won't cost you anything extra. So yeah, it helps support the channel. Oh, yeah, that helps too. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and dump this in. Something I like to do, I know not everybody agrees, I definitely do, is whenever I'm pulling it from a packet and I didn't do a starter, I add just a little bit of water to the packet, close it back up, give it a nice little shake, nothing special, don't have to pound on it. It's kind of funny, when I went to White Labs and we were moving yeast, everybody was always gentle, like they didn't want to kill them. There we go. It's got a few extra cell counts, you know what I'm saying? So seal that up, oops. And you may ask why I keep these. They have a club where you can turn these in and get free yeast or other cool goodies. So I do keep them and save them, and if you ever want to send me yours, let me know. If you have a bunch of them, you don't want to send one, it'd be a waste of time. Okay, I'm gonna get this on the glycol chiller, get the temp probe in there, get it set to 52 with a peak of 53. I probably shouldn't have tweaked that hard. There we go. It'll seem like no time for you, but for me, this will probably have to ferment for about a month. Why? Because it'll take about a week and a half to ferment. Then I'm going to add it to a keg and let it age a little on that oak. Yes, I don't even know where I put the oak, but you saw the oak spirals in the beginning, unless you're jumping around and you missed it. But yeah, and then of course I've got to edge the bourbon and the vanilla, which I'll have to double check how much I added last year. I know I mentioned it in the previous video, but yeah, this will be served, like I said, as long as I have the time on Halloween night. It'll be on one of the little Igulu kegs, and I'll put these in little 1 gallon things and rock and roll, plus I'll bottle some, so. Cheers, appreciate you, show a little love. Yeah, took the dogs for a walk. I'm dying, definitely on the hot side right now. Gotta go have dinner, it's almost 8:30. Cheers, appreciate you.